Hi, I'm Tara Lynn of Geek Saga Entertainment, and welcome to Hot D Takes. This podcast series covers HBO's House of the Dragon episode by episode with myself, an avid reader of all things ASOF, and my friend Manny, a Game of Thrones fan who is unsullied, aka has never read the books, being your stalwart hosts. So first things first, you can find me on Blue Sky, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and YouTube at A Geek Saga.
And I'm Manny, the aforementioned unsullied co-host, and you can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Benissimo Art. Thank you for joining us for this episode, which will cover House of the Dragon Season 3, Episode 5, titled Unbowed and Unbent.
As a reminder, expect spoilers from the episode we're covering and all previous episodes of House of the Dragon, but less obvious. There might be very minimal book spoilers from Fire and Blood, which is, of course, the source material for House of the Dragon. However, I do keep it to things that have happened in the show already, just comparisons, essentially, not things that will happen in the future in Fire and Blood. And for this episode especially, I might be talking about some Song of Ice and Fire book stuff, just as like some minor comparisons. But also, if you haven't read the Song of Ice and Fire books but have watched Game of Thrones and don't plan on reading the books, I don't really think you're gonna be all that upset about it, because like, listen, the last ASOF book came out 15 years ago now, so like you've had plenty of time to read it, folks. Yeah. So anyway, we are going to start with a summary of Unbowed and Unbent, then cover what we think are the main hot takes from the episode, and conclude with a favorites roundup from this week's new installment.
We also have a rating system that we will, like true Targaryens, fill in when and where we please. And that system includes rating things on a scale of 1 to 10 Targ eyebrows.
Just one last piece of business before we dig in. Don't forget that Geek Saga Entertainment has a Patreon. It offers tons of ways to support us and receive some great perks in return, including access to these Hot D Takes live streams for $5 and up a month, or early access to the video recording versions of these live streams, and also the podcast audio only version of these episodes for just $3 a month. Check it out at patreon.com/geeksaga_entertainment.
And now it's time for the long and the short of it, our weekly episode summary. Oh, once again, we've been served an episode that jumps around so much that it seems prudent to focus on one storyline at a time, beginning with what's going on in the Riverlands as pro-Rhaenyra army tries to make its way to Tumbleton as requested. But unfortunately for them and for us, because of how we feel about fucking Coleslaw, him and his little group are unfortunately having quite a bit of success with Slawman's guerrilla warfare plan, including burning down the camp of the combined Riverland/Northman forces. Oscar decides to play the same game, though, sending men ahead to plant traps to take out Coleslaw's horses, leading to quite a few scenes of this little group of Greens trudging through what looks like the worst parts of the Riverlands as they attempt to reach the next crossing first, only to arrive at Stony Sept and realizing that Rhaenyra's army has made it across and burnt the bridge behind them. 3 cheers to Oscar Tully, am I right? In another unfortunate situation for the two of us anyway, we also see quite a bit more of Harrenhal in this episode. It seems Rhaenyra's decree that whoever kills Aemon gets the castle has spread throughout the lands, and Alice is having quite the time shooing away the riffraff that shows up looking for him. Thankfully, the castle itself seems to help punctuate her scary stories, what with its creepy sounds and wandering black goats and fleets of bats. But it turns out not just the castle she's protecting, but Aemon as well. Because yes, he's deep in his own Luigi's Mansion journey, dreaming of Aegon and Vhagar, crying all about it in Alice's arms. But we don't have to see all of it, so good for him.
So far, yeah.
Good for him. There was a sequel to Luigi's Mansion, so that's all this is what's going on now. This is just a sequel to it. Later, when more men show up at Harrenhal looking for him and refuse to let Alice scare them away, Aemon, despite the fact that he's still recovering from being stabbed, comes to her defense. And even wounded and weak and missing his dragon, he's able to take out her 3 attackers. Aemon might be a dick, but hey, credit where credit is due, I guess. Meanwhile, in a Red Keep that has been sacked full of cats, Master Orwell attempts to help Alicent and Helena by delivering moon tea, but Mysera truly does have eyes everywhere. So not only does Helena refuse to drink the moon tea, but soon enough, Mysera checks in on them and Alicent herself is forced to drink the potion. This leads to a poorly planned escape, so poorly planned that Mysera is waiting to catch them in the act. Alicent tries to convince her to not tell Rhaenyra about any of this, And we're left with the feeling that Mysteria is in fact considering Allison's request. And later we continue to wonder about that as Allison and Helena apparently try to escape again, this time with the quote, help, unquote, one of those aforementioned cats. But the secret tunnel the cat has helped them discover seems to be a dead end. And the last we see of the two wannabe fugitives is left in the dark after the cat causes them to drop their lantern. What a twist.
What a twist.
What a twist.
As for Rhaenyra, she continues to suffer all sorts of drama. Lasai. First, Lady Frey reminds her that Jace promised Harrenhal to the Freys in exchange for letting the Northmen cross their stupid bridge, and doesn't seem to think that a small council seat is proper compensation now that Harrenhal will supposedly go to whoever kills Aemond. She accepts the seat anyway, of course, and immediately begins a whispering away with Torrhen Manderly, something that both Daemon and Mysaria immediately side-eye. And for good reason, but we'll let that one sit for now because Daemon himself is also causing trouble. He's brought news that someone has been murdering Goldcloaks, and while Rhaenyra wants him to go to the Riverlands to attempt to root out Aemond and Vhagar, Daemon refuses, insisting that they need to take care of things closer to home first. Rhaenyra obviously doesn't like that he is essentially disobeying her, but she sends Adam and Baela back out instead and, quote, let's Daemon, unquote, let's Daemon do his thing. Or rather, try to do his thing, because while he does rile up the Goldcloaks with promises of future riches and figure out who's behind the Goldcloak murders, it's Ormond, by the way, apparently the culprit they caught was just one of them, and Daemon returns to Goldcloak HQ to find a feast for traitors. That being quite a few Goldcloaks, including their current commander, killed and displayed in a very gruesome tableau. Anyway, remember how we mentioned that this episode jumps around a lot? Well, as for Ormond, he was paying the Goldcloak killers with coins stamped with Darren's face, coins that Ormond actually revealed to Darren earlier in the episode after they had a nice sit-down featuring stories of Westerosi history. Or, well, that sit-down turned not so nice for a moment when Darren beat Ormond at Savas because Ormond gonna Ormond, I guess. Darren stamped coins don't much matter, though, when, Aegon is, of course, still alive. He has dragged Larys away from Rook's Rest because he wants to find and kill his other brother, but Larys has had enough of Baby Gon being a whiny little shit and finally tells him off. They end up returning to Rook's Rest, but before they can hire the ship that Baby Gon has finally agreed to take to Essos, who discovers them but Tywin Lannister? How he survived being tossed overboard in a full kit of armor, I guess we'll never know, but he wants to bring Baby Gon to Casterly Rock, something to which Larry's Littlefooter strongly, pun, strongly protests. And while Larry's and Tyland are arguing, Janos, the man who has apparently been in charge of the garrison, discovers Baby Gon's crown. But hey, don't worry, Baby Gon stabs Janos to death for his troubles. On a much nicer note, Adam and Baela are certainly bonding as they fly around the Riverlands looking for Aemond and Vhagar, but one has to wonder if they'll get the adventurous ending Adam hopes for, because this is, after all, Westeros. While we keep our fingers crossed for a happier future for Adam and Baela, let's get into Maester Manny's predictions from last week. And also, while I don't know what you're drinking, but I am pounding some White Claws hoping to get my energy.
I am pounding down some White Claws
Cheers.
as well.
Cheers. Manny and I are both pounding White Claws to try to boost our energy here.
Exactly.
Literally pounding.
Great minds think alike.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so your predictions from last week. First of all, that there would be some Aemond in this episode. Very vague, but hey, that's how one has to do predictions, really.
That's how you got to do it. You got to keep it as vague as possible so that way the money keeps flowing in. I mean, I gotta, this is a business I'm running here,
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Now, you did say that maybe they would open with Aemond, which didn't happen, but it did happen. We did see him very early on in the
Very
episode.
early on, yeah.
Because I think what you kind of had talked about last week was that they have to know that people want to know what is happening with him, at least some hint of what's going on. So we definitely got more than a little bit of that.
I think they did a good job by bringing him in this episode, because that part has staggered on a little too long now at this point, to where I'm like, okay, you guys have to kind of let us know what happened.
I would have been shocked if we didn't get a good bit of him in this episode, honestly. I still think it wasn't as much as I was expecting maybe, but so far that's a good thing because again, we do not want, like we want the DLC, like choose to watch it version of Luigi's Mansion
Yeah,
from last
exactly.
season. The other one you had was maybe we would see Baby Gone being a little bit of a human being, maybe. And honestly, I think you weren't entirely wrong there. He's still a huge asshole, but after Larry's told him off, he did go back to Rook's Rest with him. He did kind of just suck it up.
Definitely got put in his place a little bit. And it's nice to see him kind of becoming human again and not just, oh, I'm the bratty king, you know, kind of thing. So.
I mean, granted, he did very roughly stab that guy to death. Not that I mean, honestly, that Janos guy, of course his name is Janos. Like they had to give him a name that already has bad connotations from Game of Thrones, like Janos Slynt, you know what I mean? But listen, not sad that this guy is gone. He totally deserved for Aegon to stab him to death.
Yeah.
But at the same time, also like in a way, maybe that was Baby Gon being like a little bit human because he's protecting himself, and also in a way Larry's, I think, whether he knows or understands that or not, still very interested in how the fuck Tywin Lannister got there. But and he also was kind of hooded and cloaked and seeming like he was trying to hide his identity a little bit. I don't know, but I don't know that Baby Gon was like super humanized in this episode. Yeah. I think actually he was more so in the last episode when we saw him crying over Sunfire. But I do think that we saw a tiny bit of growth. I'll give him that. Tiny bit of growth in this episode.
All right. Ready for it? Hot take number 1. Scary stories to tell in the dark by Alice Rivers. So first, yes, it does probably help that Alice is telling her scary stories in a place like Harrenhal, and also at night with its creepy noises and animals abounding. Also, there's some bit of truth to her tales because Harren the Black did in fact kill the people who built Harrenhal. Plus, personifying a castle that really does sound like it's breathing in this scene, and being able to sick some bats on these dudes with the toss of a stone, she is really living it up right now. This just goes back to the thing. Harrenhal is just a poorly built house. It is breathing, okay, dude, because water has gotten inside the foundation. Okay. It's just, this is a poorly built castle. I understand it's important, blah, 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 or whatever.
Well, originally it wasn't poorly built, but remember, it was burned quite a bit, literally melted stone by one of the dragons in Aegon's conquest. That's why it looks as crazy as it does, because it was partially / mostly burned, and there hasn't been much done to like fix it up. You know, it's like when somebody buys one of those Victorian mansions from the 1900s that nobody's kept up in 100 plus years, and you go in and you're like, it's got good bones, but
I think that Harrenhal can be like a castle. They just gotta bring in some general contracting. We gotta like take a look at it, do some structural analysis, bring it up to code. You know, I think it'll be good after that.
Oh my god, could you imagine the amount of money it would take, the amount of money and time it would take to bring Harrenhal up to code? That's why
up to code.
Again, it really did sound like the castle was breathing, and I know it's the wind whistling through the giant castle open hallways. Half the roofs are gone. But I think they did a really good job with just showing how creepy it can be as Alice is standing there. Obviously, I watched the episode last night and then I watched it again today a couple of times. And it wasn't until I watched that scene the second time, when I watched it last night, I had it in my head that I heard her say the thing about the castle being hungry and everything. But then I had it in my head that she started telling like a second ghost story when she was referring to a she. And I was also very tired last night. I was out of town this weekend. I had driven back. I got here like an hour before the episode came on after 2.5 hours of traffic and shit. Watching it again first thing this morning, I was like, oh, okay. She's not telling a separate ghost story. She's personifying this castle. And that actually made it even more cool because I was like, what the fuck is this story she's telling about some she in the castle that eats its inhabitants? Or what is this nonsense? The Hair in the Black killing the people who built a thing? Yeah, that's legit. But yeah, like, listen, yes, we hate on Harrenhal a lot, but as long as we don't get stuck there forever, I'm kind of liking at least most of these little snippets we're getting. Just show us minimal clips of the haunting of Harrenhal, and I'm good with that.
Yeah, what they're doing with Harrenhal, this is how it should have been done. Because it is interesting, and it's cool to hear about it. Okay, great. This is how we should have done it. Not 3 or 4 episodes of Damon stumbling around.
Having visions and dreams,
Yeah, I get it. But again, everyone knows how Manny feels about visions and dreams and prophecies and all this fucking shit. I know Patrick loves it, and he's a big fucking fan of it. I'm always going to call him out on it because he fucking loves it. but Manny fucking hates it, and I'm tired of it.
I know we have to, at the very least, we'll have to try to get Patrick back on the show for our hottest takes. He can do some Patrick's prophecies for season 4 here. But
there you go. Yeah, absolutely. Kind of going on what I was saying, that this is a much better way to deal with Harrenhal. Just little snippets and some mystery. Alice showing up and telling stories really made me feel like I was 10 years old again and listening to Vincent Price doing a movie introduction. Yeah, used to have, I can't remember when it was, but I remember they would have these like kind of scary movies and he would come out, Vincent Price, and he would do his little monologue in the beginning. That's what this reminded me of. That's how you do Harrenhal. This is how you do it. So
yeah. So I know, I guess you could also say that Alice telling Aemond that Vhagar has fled is a scary story in a way. It sure as hell is for him. He's like freaking out about it. I don't know how legit it is that she's saying Vhagar fled. Yes, Vhagar is a dragon with her own mind in a way and stuff like that, but she's not far away. We know that by the report that Rhaenyra is getting and the things that Baby Gon repeats. He keeps like, oh, let's go up toward Harrenhal. Let's go to Wendish Town. That's all Harrenhal area. She might be miles away, maybe more than a few miles, but she's a giant dragon. She can go get back there real quick. Now, will she be there when Aemond absolutely needs her? That I don't know, depending on how far she actually is. But at the same time, Alice telling Aemond that the dragon fled almost feels like, to me, a manipulation tactic.
Absolutely.
Your dragon left you. I'm the only one here for you, Aemond.
And Aemond is very susceptible to that.
Oh, yeah. Mother.
Yes, exactly. Major mommy issues.
Alicent Rivers.
Alicent Rivers. I was kind of expecting for like Alice to just be like, no, here you go. You need to rest. Keep eating this stew. Have this stew. Where's Vhagar? Oh, Vhagar's here with us right now. In the stew. Knowing Alice, I'm like, that sounds like some kind of shit you do.
Hot take number 2. Story time. The man tells his young ward about how women can't be both intelligent and attractive. Or, in all seriousness, Ormond gives Darren some lessons in Westerosi history and handling victory. I liked that we got to hear the Miriam Martell story. Maybe not so much that it was from Ormond. I don't want to listen to him talk. Like, he's so smarmy. He's just so smarmy. Everything about him is smarmy, but whatever. Also because, of course, he believes that she's the only woman ever who had a military mind, but also apparently thinks that this was only because she was blind and ugly and apparently fat. Yeesh, man. Ugh, gross. You're icky and I hate you.
Yeah.
Also, in my opinion, it seems as if he's likening himself to Maria Martell because she defeated the Targaryens and their dragons with her cunning mind. And we've heard from other people that he thinks himself very cunning. I mean, I agree with that. I do think he is cunning in some ways. I think in some ways he's a little ham-handed. But yeah, obviously he thinks he's going to do the same. And it's just like, oh, I cannot roll my eyes any harder. This guy is so fucking arrogant. He's so arrogant and he's so maddening. But I just really did like this scene. I like that we got that story and that even though in a way it was a tell, don't show moment, I still felt like it was handled really well. We got the episode title inserted here.
Yeah.
The Martell words are unbowed, unbent, unbroken, but he just ended it with unbowed and unbent. The unbroken came in a little later, but I was like, oh, come on, finish those words, man. Give the Martells their words. Especially since we're not getting any Martells yet. Probably honestly not at all in this series. So, and also, by the way, all of this happens while they're playing Savas, which is a game that Marcella Baratheon played with Tristan Martell a whole bunch in A Feast for Crows. I don't remember if we saw much of that in the show because the stuff with Marcella and Tristan was very brief. And honestly, like the only thing I can really remember from Dorne is like Jaime Lannister sneaking into Dorne.
Yeah.
And how like ridiculous that whole thing was. But in the books, there's a not plot, but like little storyline stuff where Marcella is with her betrothed Tristan Martell and they play Savas a lot. And then also in A Dance with Dragons, the 5th book, Tyrion plays Savas with young Griff, this character who is a supposed Targaryen that some people want to style as king. I don't know if they meant that to be a nod to A Dance with Dragons. I feel like it is. I feel like it's specific enough. Here is Ormond trying to put this kid on the throne as king when there's other people who are either sitting on the throne right now or in line for it, and he's playing Sabas with him. Although in Dance with Dragons, it's actually young Griff who loses to Tyrion and throws a tantrum. But whatever. I want to think that that was a nod to like, especially since the young Griff storyline was not in Game of Thrones at all. Whatever plot points they used from that, like Jorah having grayscale, that was taken from a different character in the young Griff storyline. But other than them giving like teeny bits of that plot to other characters, they didn't use the younger storyline at all. So anyway, I just want to hope that that was like a little nod to that.
Yeah, Orman is really going in, like putting Darren's face on the currency. I mean, it just made me think of all those mail order coin commercials in the middle of the night where you can get your Trump coins straight from the mint. Only 3 payments of $19.99, free shipping. That's what it made me think of, where it's like, you too can own a piece of history. Get our king's face, our new king's face on our coins straight from the mint. Can be yours, $19.99, free shipping. Will not ship to Alaska or Hawaii.
With Orman, it's like, will not ship to Dorne or the Iron Islands.
Iron Islands. Limited time only. Only while supplies last. Oh man. Hot take number 3. 50% panic, 40% winging it, and 10% hoping nobody notices. AKA, how many failed escape attempts will Allison and Helena make this season? How did Allison think that a necklace would buy a maid's help and silence? And even if it did, Visseria has eyes everywhere, which you've already learned, Allison. Plus, your former dowager queen and former queen, those maid outfits weren't going to disguise you. Like, just wear your couture cloaks at this point. At least your faces would be sort of hidden.
Yeah, really.
They were just cosplaying maids. Just, oh yeah, no. We're maids. Hello, fellow maids.
Then let's just, wander down a passageway in the dead of night. A passageway we've just now discovered thanks to a cat. Close the door behind us, so we apparently can't go back and only bring one light. What is going on in your heads right now?
Bro,
clearly nobody knew this passageway existed or they wouldn't have put you in this room.
Exactly.
Or, I don't know. I guess it's dead-ended, so maybe they would have, but still.
Maybe.
I don't think so. I don't think anybody knew it existed.
No. Watching this scene, like I already knew they were going to get caught because this just isn't Allison's forte, okay? It's just a question of like how. I feel like they should have just put mustaches on and just walked around. Hello, fellow servants. The big thick glasses and the mustaches, just like, I'm a normal servant just like you.
Oh my God, that brings me back to, was it season 1, that one of our memes with like that Steve Buscemi, whatever. I can't remember what it's from, but like him carrying the skateboard and it's just, hello, fellow young Targaryen.
Yes, hello, fellow young Targaryens. I'm just as young as you are. I'm not 35 at all.
Yeah, you're right. There's got to be a bunch of dead rat bodies lying. I mean, the cats don't eat the whole rat, just saying. There's got to be a bunch of dead rat bodies lying around. They could just take some rat fur, like paste it on their upper lip.
Be
Cut
like,
your hair. Do something. Apparently, there's just hair dye and paint all over Westeros. Just all over, available everywhere in Westeros. There's a fucking Sally's Beauty Supply and a Home Depot right up the road,
Right up the road, bro. What they should have done was just the whole Marvel disguise, just put on the little hat and the glasses and just walk through the caverns at night. Oh, no, we're just normal people, just checking the leaks. There's some leaks here we're just working on.
The idea of going into a secret passageway that, as far as you know, nobody knows about. With one lantern and you're following a cat. I get following the cat, honestly, but I get it. Like, they didn't expect it to dead end or to be closed up. And I also understand why they shut the door behind them, but did they really shut the door to a point where they can't even go? Why wouldn't you explore first and then turn back and shut the door, or send one of you in? One of you goes in to explore. There's zero intelligence, zero intelligence in this second escape plan.
Let's not even look at it that deep. I'd have opened that thing and been like, okay, I think there's gonna be spiders in here. I don't think we should do this. There's gonna be spiders. Like, have you ever been in a crawl space before? No, we're not going to do this.
I get it. They're desperate. But again, one of you goes and the other one stays behind so that you can get back in. You go far enough so that you can figure out if it's closed off or not. I don't know. Just don't. Why would you both go? And why would you only bring one light between the two of you? And
They should have just went like separate. I'd have sent Helena through there and been like, okay, when they come looking for you, I'm going to tell them you're in the shitter. All right. So just get to the end of it, make a caulking noise or something, and then I'll come in afterwards. And then I'll chase you down. So that way you've already scoped it out. One of us has already scoped it out and been like, okay.
What I'm guessing is that we're supposed to be seeing like Allison's increasing desperation, because here's the thing. We know Allison is not stupid.
No.
We know she's not stupid, but I think they might be, or might have been, especially in this episode, trying to show her increasing desperation too quickly. Okay, we get it. She's desperate, but 2 escape attempts that are both extremely poorly planned in the same episode. I don't know, guys. We know Allison isn't this stupid. We also understand that she's getting desperate, but
for someone like Allison, how do you handle that? Because I was torn on that scene on her antics here, because generally I'd be like, no, just help Helena escape. But can Helena handle her own out there?
Yeah,
probably not.
Well, and also Helena does not want to go without Jaehaera, her daughter, either.
Yeah. So that is a really difficult situation. And this is one of those classic examples of just a mom trying to do her best to make sure that the kids are okay.
Just again, after what happened with their first failed escape attempt, I don't feel like it was, I see that they're probably trying to show her like very quickly increasing desperation, but I just feel like it was too fast, especially after the first escape attempt failed so fast and so badly, and Mysaria already knows what you guys are. Why would you should test the waters a little bit? I don't think she should have sent Helena into that tunnel. I think Allison should have gone by herself and gone far enough to see if there was actually a way out. I don't know how far they went, really.
Yeah.
I don't think you could really tell, but you should definitely test those waters first, then go back, shut the door. If it's too late, go to bed that night. Get through the next day. I guess she didn't want to get through the next day because she's worried that Mysaria is going to tell Rhaenyra. Let's go into hot take number 4 real quick. Making people offers they can't refuse. Or can or can they? Or can they? Or can they? Or will they? The first one being Alicent to Mysaria right after their first escape attempt. Alicent claims that if Mysaria tells Rhaenyra about that attempt, then Mysaria doesn't really gain anything. But if Mysaria doesn't tattle, she's going to earn favor with the Hightowers, you know, in case she ever needs it. And Mysaria certainly looked thoughtful there. Personally, I don't think she is going to tell Rhaenyra, at least not about that escape attempt. She wasn't going to.
I think personally, since they found a little escape path that nobody knows about, Mysaria is coming in there from a position of power. She knows her shit. Between Alicent and Mysaria, let's just say hand-to-hand combat, I'm going to vote Alicent 100%. Alicent just seems like somebody who can hold her own. I would have just played coy if I was Alicent, or I was the one telling her. If I was her little whisperer, I'd be like, look, just be coy like how you are. Oh my God, and fucking knife Mysaria in the fucking neck. Kill her right there and throw her in the fucking place. And that way it's like, look, at least we have at least a day. This body is not going to stink for like a day and a half. So at least that way we can just hightail it. And now we know for a fact that this chick isn't going to say anything because she's fucking dead. We just toss her in the path and we'll fucking keep going. This is where Alicent has to, like, she's got to, you know, those are rookie numbers. She needs to pump those numbers up, baby. If I was with Alicent, I'd be like, look, let's just kill this chick and just, because in the end, my motivation is to protect Helena. She has to make it to the end of this without dying. So I'm like, just fucking kill Mysaria. She already feels like she's in a position of power. In essence, she's more vulnerable than fucking Alicent because she feels like she has the upper hand.
I mean, I think in general, I think Mysaria probably would win in a fight, but
not if she didn't see it coming.
And also, I think that, again, that level of desperation that Alicent is feeling and the adrenaline and everything could put her over the top. It's like, who would win the fight?
Yeah, I'm just saying.
At the same time, I think that part of the reason Alicent rushed her and Helena into that passageway is because she was very concerned. She's desperate. Again, I keep saying that word, but that's exactly what this is. This is pure desperation. And she thought that Mysaria might still tell Rhaenyra, but also I don't know that Alicent is necessarily the best at reading people's faces because she's standing right there looking at Mysaria and you could tell Mysaria was like, yeah. Alicent did make some good points about like, yeah, sure, you're in Rhaenyra's good graces now, but like, who knows what's going to happen? Can you really trust a dragon rider? And you've been wronged by these people before. And you're also at odds with Daemon, and Rhaenyra and Daemon are two sides of the same coin. Alicent had some really good points there, and Alicent knew she had some good points. Now, I understand that she isn't sure that she convinced Mysaria. And again, you go back to all she wants is to get really her daughter out of there safely. I think. Even I think she cares more at this point. Shockingly, she cares more about Helena than she does about herself.
Yeah.
Like, Allison's not the best mother, guys. So it's sometimes hard to rectify how she's acting now with, well, I mean, listen, she's like all for them just leaving Helena's daughter Jaehaera behind. And Helena's like, no, hell no, girl. Although they go into the passageway without Jaehaera, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying, if I was Alicent, I would have killed Mysaria. Sorry. I don't want to kill you, but if I protect my kid, sorry. I like Mysaria too, but I'm just saying, snitches get stitches.
But again, to me, it really felt like Alicent got to Mysaria. At the very least, Mysaria has to understand that Alicent is correct in the fact that her telling Rhaenyra this thing that Rhaenyra wouldn't otherwise know. Now, granted, we don't know how Mysaria really just wandering the halls waiting, or did she find out very possibly from the servant who Alicent gave the necklace to? Is there some other person who would possibly feed this information to Rhaenyra? Maybe, but I don't know. It really felt to me like, it looked to me that Mysaria was going to accept that possible offer of a favor from the High Towers in the future. On the other hand, we have the other offer you don't think someone should refuse. Gwaine to Coleslaw. Don't worry, brah. You can come live in Old Town and be in service to the High Towers when this is all over. Only in this case, good old Sir Cole of House Slaw doesn't want to be in anyone's service anymore and just wants to die. Which, listen, I get the former. I've been a servant all my life. I don't want to be that anymore. Okay, I get that. But the fact that he doesn't care about his own life and therefore is risking the life of others when he maybe doesn't really have to is big, like, eye roll vibes to me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If you're a general or platoon leader with a bunch of troops and all you want to do is die, that you're just gonna bring ruin upon your entire platoon because you're just looking to die. That's it. But again, that's right up his fucking alley, right? Me. Everyone, poor. Look at me. I'm tortured. Maybe Queen Alicent will hear the songs about me. Please send her a mixtape of all my doings, bro. Like, get fucked, man. Eat an arrow with your punk ass, dude. I don't know. Maybe this is just me theory crafting here, but maybe there's some people in your platoon who, I don't know, want to get back home one fucking day. And fucking Coleslaw is the fucking sitting there, well, I just want to die. There's nothing else left for me or whatever. It's like, come on, dude.
We need to please send her a mixtape of all my doings. Like, awesome mix number one.
Yeah. Awesome mix number one.
Coleslaw's awesome mix number one.
Look at all the things I did with my queen in mind.
Oh my
God. I hope she loves me forever.
Oh, so gross. I was already just like, ugh, fine, whatever, die. I don't care. Please die. Listen, again, I think I said this last week. Gwaine is agreeing, but he seems all right. He's on the side that we're not necessarily backing from like our perspective as viewers right now, but he seems like an all right guy.
Like an okay guy, exactly.
And
he's not a dick.
Yeah, and it's like, also, he was born into that family. What else the fuck you gonna do?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want him to die just because Coleslaw's like, I don't care if I die. And all these other men, some of them are probably just like foot soldiers who got conscripted into this shit.
Yeah.
Like you said, they just want to go home someday, maybe, hopefully. And they probably knew from the beginning that the chances of that are slim because, let's be real, in a big war with thousands of people in battles and whatever, the chances of that are very slim, and dragons are involved very probably, makes it even more slim. But my God, like, there's still that hope, and he's just over here just like, nope, we're gonna walk into death. Come on with me, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
No choice here. Come on with me. I'm leading you into death because I want to die. Fuck y'all.
I swear to God, he's like the worst fucking leader ever. This would have been one of those guys where I would have been like with the platoon and I'd been like, look, why don't we he's asleep. Let's go give him some medicine and then let's go home. Or let's like do something else. Like,
Wayne does walk away at the end.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. When you have somebody like that as a leader that they just want to, like, yes, the rest of you are going to be brought to ruin because of a fucking incel like that.
-5 out of 10 Targ eyebrows for everything Coleslaw.
I cannot wait. I just want him to get hit with an arrow or his head getting taken off. To me, as long as I can see that happen, at this point, I could not even finish the rest of the show. I just wouldn't care. I'm like, I just want to see Coleslaw get an arrow in his fucking neck. That's what I want. Anyways, I digress. Hot take number 5. You want the truth, you can't handle the truth. Or Littlefooter finally breaks character and tells Baby Gone how he really feels.
Finally.
To be fair, Baby Gon definitely didn't want to hear the truth, but Larry's lists all the advantages Aegon had and all the ways he squandered them before concluding with, "You were a terrible king, but worse than that, you are a terrible man." And then he just walks away. Unclear what exactly finally broke Littlefooter's game face, but honestly, I doubt most of us would have held out as long as he did.
Fuck no, for sure not. For sure not. How he kept his cool until this point, honestly. This isn't the first time, even in the season, that Baby Gon has been like, me.
Yeah,
My life was
this
so horrible. My brother was given all the advantages. I wasn't allowed to be in tournaments. I wasn't allowed to be in tournaments, and my brother was. Mommy loved him more than me.
This was definitely a fuck this shit I'm out moment for Littlefooter. You know, I
Yeah.
guess you can only suffer a whiny ass baby for so fucking long, and he was fucking done with it. This was the only thing Littlefooter has done that I've actually liked. He's just like, I'm fucking done with this shit. Like, they don't pay me enough for this bullshit.
Nobody's paying him right now.
No, that's what I'm saying.
He has money. Clearly, he has enough money to get them on a ship, apparently. But, and the thing is, in the end, maybe he should have done this sooner, because you see Baby Gon there and he's like fuming as Larry's is saying these things to him, and he's like, he looks at Sunfire's scale and he's like clutching it, and you're like, is he gonna take that scale and stab Littlefooter right now? Because I mean, dragon scales, they might not be sharp, but they're hard. He could very likely do some real hardcore damage and most likely kill Littlefooter with that scale, just with the force of his own strength, if he's angry enough, has enough adrenaline rushing through him, whatever.
Yeah.
And also he clearly has like a weapon, some sort of knife on him anyway, 'cause he uses something against that Janos guy later. But no, he kind of sits there, he's fuming about it, but he sits there and takes it, lets Littlefooter walk away, and then kind of, I mean, I don't want to say he goes crawling back to him like a meek little dog or whatever, but I thought it was really funny how he does. Littlefooter sitting there at the little table in Rook's Rest, and Baby Gon shows back up, and Littlefooter just, he puts an apple. It's like a treat. Oh, you returned to me. Here's your treat for return.
Here's your treat.
I know you've been hungry. Here's an apple.
Yes, that's a good boy.
That shit was a long time coming, and I was hemming and hawing about a lot of these. I was back and forth about a lot of these hot takes, but that was one where I was like, nope. As much as I dislike Larry's Littlefooter over here, he earned that. He earned that, and
I actually thought
needed it.
Yeah, and I actually thought that like crisp and coleslaw fucking Rice Krispie treats probably would have benefited having somebody like Littlefooter with him, because it probably would have put him in. Littlefooter would have very politely, in his very own whatever way, would have been like, "Why don't you just stop being a little bitch and lead your men to fucking victory instead of sitting here whining?"
Yeah. Hot take number 6. No one makes Alicent Rivers a salt wife. It should be like, no one puts baby in a corner.
Yeah.
No one makes Alicent Rivers a salt wife. Except maybe Aemond, in which Aemond is clearly feeling a little bit better and takes out the men who showed up looking for him and attacked his nurse, protector, mother figure, something else. We don't know. Let's be real. Let's be fair here. We said this in the summary, but we might not like Aemond. However, that fight was pretty badass considering he's still convalescing and took out these like 3, and one of them was huge too, took out these 3 men to protect his girl. I will say this though, Alice remains pretty badass herself.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think it's like just too bad that she happened to meet these guys outside without the creepy castle noises and like goats and bats to help her.
Yeah, I agree with that. This was the first time that I actually really cheered for fucking Aemond, right? Because no one puts their dirty ass hands on our fucking Alice. And it was nice to see Aemond like in action. He talks all this shit like he's this fucking badass, but we don't really get to see too much of what he fucking does. So to like get to see it, you can see where he's like a lot like Daemon. Even his fighting style and everything was very similar too. And I was like, shit, okay, no one's gonna touch his fucking mother figure. Now, in saying that, I think he may have some mommy issues.
Maybe
may have some mommy issues, but either way, kill those fucking bastards. So with Aemon, after these scenes, there was a part of me that actually felt kind of bad for him. The way he's holding on to like Alice.
They're doing it again. They made us feel a little bit bad for Baby Gon last week, and now they're making us feel bad for Aemon. How dare?
How dare, exactly, because the way Aemon is like holding on to Alice like in the bed and shit, it was like a child. And I'm just like, God damn, Allison, were you that terrible of a fucking mom? What the fuck did you do to your kids, bro? they're all fucked up and damaged. And I actually kind of felt bad for him, you know? But then even with that, and again, since that scene had happened before this attack, it was just great to see him go out there and slaughter those fucking little pieces of shits or whoever the fuck.
Yeah, like you said, don't touch our Alice.
Yeah, you don't touch our fucking Alice.
She's weird and creepy, but we love her.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, look, honestly, if I was her, I would have just hung out at the top of Harrenhal, and just laughed maniacally from a window or something. Her creepiness is her strength, and the strength comes from the castle. It's best to just stay inside.
Yeah.
To be that kind of figure. I think it would have been better.
It's like that creepy black goat on them, you know what I mean? Like,
oh, yeah, exactly.
goats,
Dude, exactly.
Goats can be really mean. They can be really sweet. They can actually be like pets, but they can also be really mean. And that goat does not look like a pet goat, okay? That goat is like...
Exactly.
It appears when it knows it's going to be most creepy for it to appear. Come on.
Come on, dude. Exactly, dude.
Haunted goat.
And the goat could attack the people, and then she can just be sitting there in the window like, yes, absolutely. There's only one person who deserves Harrenhal, and it's Alice, and she should have it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We don't know why she wants it, but she wants it.
Look, honestly, if you've driven by Chipotle lately, there's always people in there, right? Like, do they want that food? Is that something that they actually want? But again, it's like, well, I mean, if that's the destiny you chose for yourself, then okay, go for it.
The funniest part about that is with all the fucking lettuce parasite that's happening.
That's a double whammy for them.
I saw a meme that was like, well, so Taco Bell threw out all their lettuce, or is not serving their, I don't even know, or they got new lettuce. I don't know what it is, but Taco Bell's like, yeah, we got you, bro. And Chipotle's over here just like, we don't give a shit.
No, we don't give a shit. We've
Literally, we don't give if you give a shit. We've already given you shits.
We've already made everyone's anuses bleed. Why not do it a second time?
Why not do it extra?
Extra, exactly, dude. Yeah.
And that's how Harrenhal is.
Yeah, that's what it fucking is. Hot take number 7. King Daeron sends his regards in the form of a so-called feast for traitors.
Honestly, okay, listen. Damon might be right about how they should have burned them when they had the chance.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't want that because Tumbleton and we, you know, but also they could have burned them before that. They could have burned them instead of Damon meeting them on the field and having like a little tete-a-tete. They could have burned them then, for Christ's sake. They only had like, listen, I love Tessarian. Tessarian is beautiful. She's beautiful and I love her. But also they had 3 dragons. 3 big dragons, much bigger dragons. They could have taken out that whole fucking army, and Rhaenyra was trying to be nice about things. And I think at this point, I'm with Damon. They should have burned them when they had the chance. And sure, there are still a good number of gold cloaks left, but how long will they continue to do their job when they're not getting paid, because that's still a thing, and they're being murdered in horrible ways left and right? Just saying.
Look, he was right, okay? But let's be civil here, right? Maybe not completely burnt, okay? But maybe like medium well, okay? Just to send a message. And they really need to do that in the next episode, honestly, at this point. It's like time is running out. Maybe just one little swoosh of fire, just a little bit. Just to like, hey, you want to keep fucking around? We'll do the rest with the rest of the dragons, but we'll just give you a little medium well. I have the feeling, though, that Rhaenyra is not going to get the luxury that Viserys had about kind of keeping the peace.
Oh, absolutely not.
Or having to rule without having to burn a few omelets, because she's in a weird position now, right? She doesn't have the men. She has people within her walls fucking with her and stuff. This is the time to kind of go a little extra there, just to kind of send a message to remind people. And not that I want to see Tumbleton be well done or anything like that, but this is one of those things where it's like for the sake of your own kingdom and all that stuff. Because it was nice when she was passing out the food to the people for the photo opportunity or whatever. But there are still people that are kind of rising above, and you have to like, you showed your kindness. Now it's time to kind of show your like firmness. Yeah. And unfortunately, Tumbleton is the place to do that. Go a little bit, throw a little flame on some people.
She will lose. She will surely lose Hugh if she does.
She'll lose Hugh, but he was kind of an asshole anyway. I mean, look, that's fine. We can find somebody else. Throw some people in that little chamber again and put the dragon in front of them. Let's see what happens.
Except Rhaena and Sheepstealer back into your fold, and hope that Sheepstealer obeys this time.
No, be ungovernable, everybody. Yes. Sheepstealer, 10,000%. That is my dragon right there.
Also, I will say, like, my God, what nerve Ormond has paying the gold cloak assassins with these Darren coins.
Oh, LOL. Here are some Darren bucks for you. Can be used at any establishments within our borders.
I'm guessing they're real gold. That's the reason they're being accepted, because regardless of whose face is stamped on them, which by the way, that does not look like Darren at all. It looks like fucking
No.
Frodo
Yeah.
or something.
Exactly.
With that weird curly hair.
But going back to Harrenhal, okay, going
Bilbo
back to
Baggins.
Harrenhal, those are gold in the same way that Chipotle is food. Right? It is edible, yes. However, I don't want any Dayron bucks. Thank you. You know, I need to like print out some Dayron bucks in the Dragon Con to pass out to people.
I think it is time for our favorites roundup. I'm just going to start with the first thing that really caught my attention when I watched this episode was little Oscar Tully. Such an adorable dude.
Yes.
Such an adorable little soldier. Clearly, like, also has come into his own, is good at what he does. But his line, Kristen Cole, I am past enduring, north or south. Snaps for Oscar Tully. Boy, do I feel you. That line, 10 out of 10 Targ eyebrows.
Yes, 10 out of 10. Absolutely.
10 out of 10 Targ eyebrows.
Yep.
For that line. We got so little of anything with the Rivermen and the Northmen in this episode, but I was like, that's fine. I'll take that. I'll take that little nugget and love it and caress it.
Yep.
Speaking of things to love and pet, cats in the Red Keep. I loved it so much. And oh my God, there are so many cats. There were like almost an excessive amount of cats, honestly.
Yes.
But
yes.
10 out of 10 Targ eyebrows for anybody owning an excessive number of cats, as long as they're being cared for properly. And I guess doing their own job of killing rats and apparently helping people find better passageways.
One thing was, obviously, I liked Littlefoot just telling it like it is. However, I do like that Baby Gon is kind of coming to his own. He's clearly not fucking around anymore, you know? He's not going to be some, like, pampered fucking kid. And as much as I just want to, like, sing the Chili song every time I see his face, it's nice to see him kind of like, okay, like, he's kind of done fucking around now. He's been out there. He's been through the shit now. So when he killed that fucking guy, honestly, I fucking liked that. I was like, yeah, fuck that asshole. You're an asshole too, but fuck that asshole.
The enemy of my enemy.
Exactly. I love the dichotomy of Cole's speech versus Damon's. I'd be pissed about not getting paid, but fucking shit, does Damon know how to work the crowd? I'd have been pissed about not getting paid, and when Damon came in there, I'd have been cheering too. I'd have been like, fuck yeah, hell yeah, we're gonna get paid eventually.
We're gonna get Dorne. Rhaenyra's gonna expand her empire, and we're gonna get riches beyond imagining because we backed her first. Not first, really, but they have been a big help for sure by standing down when she took the city and standing down for Daemon when they had that moment in the throne room a couple episodes ago. But
it was the best PowerPoint presentation Daemon could have given to the troops because I'd be like, well, fuck, okay, I'm not getting paid now, but who else is gonna pay me?
He's got a screen behind him that's like Dorne, and it's like a picture of Dorne with money symbols, and then he slips in the next one, Essos, a picture of Essos with money symbols.
Bonus money symbols ×2. Okay. Like, well, I mean, he sold me. Let's fucking go do it.
Meanwhile, Coleslaw doesn't even know how to put a PowerPoint presentation together.
No. Coleslaw's like, so anyways, so yes, we are here in the middle of the woods and we're trying to Coleslaw,
he's got his index cards.
Yeah, he's got a little index cards.
Talking about the faith of the seven and shit.
It's like, oh, give me a break. You know, at least Damon's like, no, don't worry about it. We're going to go fuck them up and then you're going to get money. And we're going to fuck them up and then you're going to get money. And you're going to come back and we're all going to get money. Be like, fuck yeah. Fucking hell yeah, Damon. Let's do this shit.
So speaking of dichotomies, I did like the dichotomy of Aemon whining about how Alicent favored Aegon while Aegon is also whining about how Alicent favored Aemon.
Guys, so like, come on.
Aemon is over here like, oh, like he did all this shit and he was useless and she loved him more. And Aegon's over here like, ooh, him and his scabby eye and she loved him more. Oh my God, guys, you both have mommy issues.
Exactly.
Why are Alicent's son so obsessed with her? I mean, Darren, apparently but that's the thing though. Darren is obsessed with Ormond. They've all got these weird fucking attachment issues.
Yeah, they do.
Which, I mean, understandable considering all of their circumstances, honestly. But I didn't love what they were saying or how they were talking, but Torin and Lady Frey gossiping during the small council meeting was so hilarious. Even
Yeah.
before Damon and Missaria were super side-eyeing them over it, I was like, and I didn't like what they were saying, right? Like they were definitely talking shit about Missaria, and before that they were talking shit about Flea Bottom, I think, and both Damon and Missaria are just like, what the fuck are you two even doing here? Like, listen, the only reason Lady Frey is there is because Rhaenyra needed to give her some sort of like recompense for letting the Northmen cross her bridge now that she's promised Harrenhal to whomever else. And then the scene in the Sept when Damon walks in and Rhaenyra's like kneeling, quote unquote, praying, and he's just like cackling, like, what the fuck are you doing here, girl? And they have this whole conversation in High Valyrian. They want to make sure nobody else can understand them. Then at the end of their conversation, she kind of goes out of her way to insult him and he just like smirks at her. But I also liked how he concluded that conversation by just walking away and telling her, you are more than this, as he walked away. Because, I mean, obviously he wasn't happy with her talking shit to him. But at the same time, it's like, he's just going, okay, girl, you're better than this. Come on now. I liked that because it felt a little bit un-Damon like, but more so in that we're so used to him being hot-headed and everything. And in this case, he was just like, whatever the break has been, he's just like, whatever, girl, I'm just gonna walk away. Last but not least, on my favorites, ha 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 ha. Fuck you, Coleslaw. 10 out of 10 for everything that happened at the end of their scenes in this episode. I feel kind of bad for Gwaine and honestly for any other men in their group that also maybe didn't really want to be doing any of the shit that Coleslaw was insisting upon. But man, that moment when they arrived at the Stony Sept and realized they failed again. Again, 10 out of 10 Targ eyebrows for just seeing him fail miserably. Like, I might feel bad for some other people in his party that didn't want to be party to this, but oh my God, 10 out of 10 Targ eyebrows for the fact that they failed somehow. I am a little bit like, really, how that whole army somehow got there ahead of them just because they lost their horses. Like, I am like a little bit concerned that the conclusion that the Rivermen crossed first was actually wrong. I am a little bit concerned about that. And that's just me. Is this a red herring is what I'm saying. But right now, assuming it's not, 10 out of 10 Targ eyebrows for Coleslaw failing miserably. And also, just side note, him claiming that he's the realm's greatest warrior. Like, yeah, sure, whatever.
God,
like,
whatever. Yeah.
We already talked about how he wanted Alicent to hear the songs they will sing of him. Like, man, but like, you're the realm's greatest warrior because you won one tournament.
Yeah.
At this point, what seems like a billion years ago. Nah.
No, man.
And also, tournaments are not hand-to-hand combat, right?
Not like
sword-to-sword combat. I think if he went one-on-one with Daemon now, or even Aemond, maybe.
Daemon would kick his ass.
Yeah, I don't think you're the realm's greatest warrior, my dude. But go on with your dumbass self.
Yeah, so Coleslaw is really like the Westerosi version of Conor McGregor. He gets out here and talks all this shit and then blows out his knee 1 minute into the fight. That's what's going to happen to him. I look forward to it.
Any other favorites for you?
No, that was it. This episode, as you stated, was kind of all over the place. I didn't feel exactly the way I felt when I was watching the episodes of Harrenhal from last season, because I know that they're setting stuff up, but at this point, it's like, look, man, I'm already mad that they're making a season 4 because we have to wait 2 fucking years for this to happen. I'm going to be 51 years old when the next season comes out, okay? Let's not overlook that. Okay, I do not like it. I understand that everyone on this show has got time, but my time is a little shorter than everyone else's, so I would prefer to watch this sooner.
There was a lot of talk between like last week's episode and this one, like, oh, well, this is the episode 5 is kind of usually like a mid-season thing, which I don't know why people were saying usually, because so last season, episode 4 had the Battle of Rook's Rest, which was a pretty big battle. Again, we did get a lot in episodes 1 and even 2, I think, of this season, but last week was very much a setup episode, and I was okay with that. This week, it's kind of got me feeling like, come on, man. How much are you going to drag this out?
Yeah.
Is it all because you just want to keep people on screen longer? Because that's knowing what I do know, that's kind of what it feels like, is that they're dragging things out because they want to keep certain characters around longer. Rating wise, the episode as a whole, like, I don't know, 5.5, maybe. Like, I think it's a little better than a 5 out of 10 Targ Eyebrows. I don't know if I'd give it a 6, though. Like maybe a 6, and that's stretching it.
I was going to say 5 out of 10 because I felt like this episode kind of didn't need to happen, or could have happened within a very short span in an episode as opposed to making it an entire episode. There was many of times when as I was watching this, that I was pausing it to use the restroom, and I was like, oh my God, I'm 20 minutes into this episode. Like, it feels like I've been watching this for an hour. I thought the episode was almost over.
It was over an hour long, I think.
Yeah. And it was like, I got 40 minutes of this shit left. And aside from like a few scenes, I was like, guys, man, like this could have been, honestly, this is one of those episodes that I felt like I could have gone online, got a 2-minute summary of it, and not missed anything by not watching the episode. And I understand they're trying to stretch it. But again, they have 8 episodes this season. You could have done 6 instead and just summed this up much quicker than what it is, you know? And again, I would never be complaining about any of this if I didn't have to wait 2 goddamn years for the next fucking season. I'm sorry, 2 years for the next season that's just criminal. In what world does it take 2 years to do another fucking season of this shit, dude? I don't know.
They already know it's greenlit. Maybe they're already filming it. I don't know, but
if they were already filming it, it shouldn't be more than a fucking year. Okay, honestly. They're gonna wait until the season's over, and then they're gonna listen to everybody's shit and be like, let's change this, let's do this instead. And then we're gonna be waiting for 2 fucking years. Ugh.
Yeah. And again, I think that there were enough things I liked about this episode, but they were very minimal things that it's like, okay, I like how they're handling Harrenhal right now. I loved that we got Cats in the Red Keep. I like that Littlefoot finally told Baby Gone off, you know, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, it's 5.5, maybe a 6, and 6 is being super generous.
That's being generous.
Okay, well, last but not least, what are Maester Manny's predictions for the next episode?
Fuck, I got nothing. This episode took all of my juju away. All of it. The only thing I can predict is that it's going to be 2 years until the next season comes out. And I know I'm going to be right on that one. Okay?
Okay, give me one thing that you think might happen in the next episode.
Okay. I think we're going to see Vhagar, at least a preview of it. She'll just come out just a little bit to remind us that Vhagar's still around. I also predict that Mysaria is going to play the field. She's going to play both sides because, again, as a Whisperer, you got to have contingency plans. And let's face facts, things do not look good for Rhaenyra's reign right now. They really don't. So she has to be thinking, being a master of Whisperers or whatever the fuck, I would assume that you're preparing for contingencies, let's just say. So I feel like that is going to kind of come to fruition, where at least we'll know something. Maybe she'll catch them in the underground area or wherever they're escaping and be like, oh, well, no, turn here instead. Do something like that. So I think she's leaving her options open. Those are my 2 predictions.
Honestly, I kind of agree with both of them, but I for sure think that if the Mysaria thing, if we don't see her clearly playing both sides next episode, I do think we'll see that this season.
Yeah, I agree.
As we close out the episode, we just want to thank you, our listeners, for joining us for Hot D Takes. Manny and I will be back next week to cover Season 3, Episode 6. For the most current news and updates about this series, make sure to follow at A Geek Saga on Blue Sky, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and or YouTube. And also, please, pretty please, consider backing our Patreon at patreon.com/geeksaga_entertainment.